This is Morning Juice. Sports, insight, and great storytelling. Starring Bobby Carpenter and Jeff Tito Thitoff. It's time to attack and dominate.
Attack and dominate. It's what we do every Monday. I'm Tito, Jeff Thitoff, Bobby Carpenter to my left. Nate, filling in for Bodie today. Bobby, how are you, my friend?
I'm good. How are you doing today, Thitoff?
Doing all right. It's a Monday, coming off a Buckeye win. We'll talk about that a little bit today. We have Bill Bender coming on today at 6:20 for Sporting News. The Reds fell to the A's 7-4 yesterday. Reds are at St. Louis tonight at 7:45. Guardians over the White Sox 3-2. Cleveland is off today. The Ohio State win over OU 37-9. Latest polls are out. We'll talk about that later on in the show. Bengals beat the Jags 31-27. Might be a costly win for the Bengals. Turf toe is no joke, Bob. Have you had turf toe?
Probably just about everybody that's played has had turf toe at some point. To the degree and the severity of it, that's going to be a little bit different. But yeah, I had turf toe when I was in college. Not really so much in the NFL, a little bit, but mostly when I was in college.
Why do they call it turf toe?
It's a great question.
Because you get on grass.
You used to get it predominantly on the old AstroTurf, just based upon being harder than grass, like stickier, how you can't really get slide your foot. It's essentially like if you were to stove your thumb, that's essentially what it does to your toe. Now, there's like acute levels of it where it happens instantly, and that's an issue, or just chronically, you've been grinding on it and working on it, keep bending it back, and you have too much flexion in your shoe or something like that, and then, you have an issue with it.
And so they're talking about potential surgery for Joe Burrow in that one.
It's that serious?
Yeah, let's say potentially. They put about several months, they're saying 3 months, which would essentially end the Bengals season. Because
they're done.
So, yeah, if that happens. They get the win yesterday with Jake Browning. He was back there playing quarterback after that. But, yeah, if it's surgery, then I guess that's a different level kind of turf toe there, I think.
That's if you have to have surgery on it, that the severity that's pretty high. But watching Joe walk off the field, if you want to call that walking,
right?
I mean, he could barely roll over and put weight on it. And when you have that being the situation, that's going to be rough to say the least.
Also in the AFC North, Ravens over the Browns 41-17. Pittsburgh somehow lost Seattle yesterday 31-17. That's a bad loss for Pittsburgh. But
that it is.
That's a tough loss. That's like I always say, Bob. There's games you must win, games you might win, and games you won't win. That was a game you must win. Was that
about must? But it's a game you probably should have won.
Yeah. All right. Like I say, Bill Bender going to join us here coming up at 6:20-ish. It'll be 6:20-ish, I say, because it depends how much history we have today, which is what we're going to do now. Here is this date in history.
Time to get smarter. Morning Juice presents Today in History. Here's your professor, Bobby Carpenter.
All right, Jenna, what do you think?
Oh, boy. It is Monday, September 15th. We're about halfway through the month. It is the 258th day of the year, a $1.07 remaining in this 2025. And like I said, Thitoff, once you get into those single digits, the rest of the year just cruises on by. We are almost there. 1 week from today, we'll be hitting that. This date, 1916, tanks are used for the first time in worldwide in war in the Battle of the Somme. This date, 1935, Nazi Germany. I know big fans of yours, Thitoff. They adopted the swastika as their official symbol on their flag. 1944, FDR and Winston Churchill meet in Quebec as part of the Octagon Conference to discuss strategy over World War II. A lot of times they meet with Stalin, but at that time they left him at home. 1954, Marilyn Monroe. Her iconic skirt scene is shot while filming The 7-Year Itch. 1959, Nikita Khrushchev becomes the first Soviet premier to ever visit the United States. 1961, at the age of 21, Jack Nicklaus wins the 61st U.S. Amateur Open, which was part of the original Grand Slam back in the day.
He had 20 at one point.
Yeah, and then they pulled the amateurs out of there. 1962, the Soviet ship Poltava leaves port and is heading to Cuba. That ship, Thitoff, was the one that was carrying the missiles and the silos and all the stuff for construction there to head in. And ultimately led to the Cuban Missile Crisis. And then in 1978 in the Superdome in New Orleans, Muhammad Ali beats Leon Spinks in a rematch, become the first man to reclaim the heavyweight title of the world 3 times.
Here's the vote.
Lucian Joe Bad scores 10 Ali, 1 even, 4 Spink. Judge Herman Dutrack scores 11 Ali, 4 Spink. Judge Ernest Kojo scores 10 Ali, 1 even, 4 Spinks. The new champion, Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali, the new champion.
Well, I want to tell you, Dr. Ferdy Pacheco, you called it. You said this is going to be maybe one of the most one-sided decisions in the heavyweight ranks in some times, and that's exactly what it was.
And that's what it was.
So Spinks, when he won the title the first time in February that year, he'd only had like 10 or 12 professional fights under his belt.
Really?
When
So
he
he was that young?
Yeah, when he got the shot and then beat Ali in a huge upset, and the Ali wins the rematch, obviously.
There we go. Pretty nice little one right there. 1979, Through the Door by Led Zeppelin. Their album hits #1.
Is this the end or it just begin? All of my love, all of my love, oh, all of my love to you.
There you go. A banger right there for you, Thitoff.
In Through the Outdoor, I think is what it's called, right? Is that the album? Yeah.
That is indeed.
Yeah.
There, yeah. Apologize for that. In Through the Outdoor. Thank you for the correction on that, Thitoff. 1981, Sandra Day O'Connor becomes the first female United States Supreme Court Justice. And then 1 year later, in 1982, Queen plays their last American show with Freddie Mercury at the helm at the LA Forum in Los Angeles.
Gotta be cool, relax, get hit, get on my tracks, take the back seat, a hitchhike, take a long ride on my motorbike. I'm too ready to raise a little big dollar.
There we go. Crazy little thing called love. 1983, Sports is released by Huey Lewis and the News.
She gets what she wants, 'cause she's hard and soul. She's hard and cold. She's got it all, hot 11 every night.
God, they were good.
You like Huey Lewis and the
Oh,
News?
dude, I'm a huge
It's
Huey
funny,
Lewis and the News
there's a
fan.
lot of people that do not like them at all.
Oh,
so.
the Sports 4 was the one after that. The album after that was FORE4, like for golf. Before that, they had Do You Believe in Love was a great song. They had Working for a
I
Living.
was just curious. Yeah, you're obviously a fan. There are some people who think Huey Lewis and his friends, the News, are significantly overrated. Obviously, you're not in that camp.
No, underrated.
Okay. I enjoy them. Yeah, I enjoy them. Just it appears that some people don't. This date, 2004, NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman announces the lockout.
Sadly, those efforts have not achieved their objective. And as the league stands at the threshold of the conclusion of the current CBA, which occurs at midnight tonight, it is my somber duty to report that at today's meeting, the NHL Board of Governors unanimously reconfirmed that NHL teams will not play at the expiration of the CBA until we have a new system which fixes the economic problems facing our game.
32 years he's been commissioner, Bob.
It's a long time.
He was 41 when he took that job, and now he's 73. And he's caught all kinds of hell. I'm not saying he did. I don't know if he did a good job or a bad job, but I'm saying it's amazing, though. He's been doing that for 32 years.
He's grown the game. I mean, they're in better places, more places. I mean, I think that they had like unbridled expansion for a while, and
Yeah.
probably should have realized there are certain markets where hockey's not going to be as successful, and to stay in some of the traditional markets, even though they may not be as big as far as population or media base, but there's people there that actually care about it. Like, population is one thing, having the passion for the sport is another. Some birthdays today. The 27th President of the United States, William Howard Taft from Ohio, born on this date, 1857. Who the hell is Chick Harley? Was born on this date, 1894, the three-time All-American in Ohio State.
He was not a very big guy. He had all the tools to do an outstanding job on both sides of the ball.
His running style was a cross between music and cannon fire.
The Jack Park.
Columbus went crazy over this guy. Chip Harley wasn't in Ohio State. You never heard of Woody Hayes or Archie Griffin.
The pressures he was under may have led to a deteriorating mental condition.
The thing that endeared him to a lot of people was the fact that he was a very modest guy. He was really the beginning of what was big-time Ohio State football.
Chick Harley, the house that Harley built, the shoe, in there on Saturday night against the Bobcats. Gaylord Perry passed away a couple years ago, born on this date, 1938, the five-time All-Star, two-time Cy Young Award winner in the Hall.
He was the first one to win the award for both leagues.
Was he really?
Yeah, he won the American League with the then Cleveland Indians and won in the National League with the San Diego Padres.
There we go.
And a reputed spitballer, greaseballer.
Well, there you go. It's all right, though. He's in the Hall of Fame, so
Yes.
they must not have hated him that bad. Merlin Olsen, Hall of Fame broadcaster, Rams defensive tackle, born on this day, 1940.
Merlin Olsen played in 15 seasons, made 14 Pro Bowls, and never missed a game. He was part of one of the most famous defensive lines in NFL history, the fearsome foursome. And while Deacon Jones, number 75, got most of the hype, it was Olsen who did much of the heavy lifting. After his retirement in 1976, he fashioned a TV career as an analyst and actor. Fittingly, most of the roles he played were quiet men of impeccable character.
Well, I think it's possible to separate the game on the field from the person off the field. And I'm not a violent person by nature. I really detest violence in many ways. But my job requires that I do certain things, and I made some commitments to doing that job as well as I possibly could.
Hear a guy that plays a violent sport say he's not a violent person. I mean, don't you have to be a violent person to play a violent sport, Bob? To play well.
Maybe not in the rest of your life. Maybe just contained to that area right there. I mean, there's a lot of guys, really nice dudes, off the field, different human beings while being on it. Some other birthdays today. Tommy Lee Jones, turning 79 years young.
All right, kid, here's the deal. At any given time, there are around 1,500 aliens on the planet, most of them right here in Manhattan. And most of them are decent enough. They're just trying to make a living.
Cab drivers.
Not as many as you'd think. Humans, for the most part, don't have a clue. They don't want one or need one either. They're happy. They think they have a good bead on things.
Well, why the big secret? People are smart. They can handle it.
A person is smart. People are dumb, panicky, dangerous animals, and you know it. 1,500 years ago, everybody knew the Earth was the center of the universe. 500 years ago, everybody knew the Earth was flat. And 15 minutes ago, you knew that people were alone on this planet.
Imagine what you'll know tomorrow.
What's the catch?
The catch. The catch is you will sever every human contact. Nobody will ever know you exist anywhere. Ever.
I've quoted a person as smart people are dumb more times than I care to admit.
Do you, Bob, think there are aliens among us?
I mean, like just walking around,
Sure.
like Men in Black style. I don't know if I get all the way there. I believe there's probably other life out there. Yeah, me and Aaron Rodgers together.
I didn't want to bring up Aaron Rodgers. I'm going to do
That's
that.
fine.
I think the only Tommy Lee Jones movie I've seen
is The Fugitive.
No, I haven't seen The Fugitive. I saw the
Why would you
JFK.
have seen that?
JFK. I saw him in that.
Okay.
I don't think I've seen another.
You've never seen Men in Black?
No.
None of them.
No, how many they got? They got 3
You've
of them?
never seen like The Fugitive?
I've never seen The Fugitive, no. Nate, breaking news. I don't watch many
Under
movies.
Siege?
No. I can't think of another Tommy Lee Jones movie
Old
I've
Country
seen.
for Old Men?
No, I haven't seen that one.
Don't listen, Nate. Don't be surprised at his catalog. It's
what
very
it means?
interesting.
It means I'm selective.
Yeah, you are. I mean, you might not be selecting
An
the right
elitist.
thing, but they're selective none the least. Speaking of movies,
yes,
famed filmmaker Oliver Stone turning 79. This gem from Platoon.
I think now, looking back, we did not fight the enemy. We fought ourselves. And the enemy was in us. The war is over for me now, but it will always be there, the rest of my days. As I'm sure Elias will be, fighting with Barnes for what Ra called possession of my soul.
That's she.
There are times since I've felt like the child born of those two fathers. But be that as it may, those of us who did make it have an obligation to build again, to teach to others what we know, and to try with what's left of our lives to find a goodness and meaning to this life.
You've never seen Platoon either.
No.
Platoon's really good. It's got William Dafoe.
Yeah.
Tom
Berenger.
Those are the two like sergeants that are battling back and forth. Different.
When I did an autograph show, did a show from one of the fan shows, an autograph session they had out there at the fairgrounds, and I got to spend about 15 minutes with Berenger. And my Berenger catalog, like my content, was nothing but more than Major League and Eddie and the Cruisers.
Done a lot of good stuff.
And so I was like, hey, I'd ask about like what he gets most recognized for. So probably Platoon. I said, oh, okay. I would have said Eddie and the Cruisers or Major League because that's what I've seen. I never saw Platoon, but yeah.
Oh, Platoon was the movie of the year. I mean, it was Oliver Stone directed it. Charlie Sheen that was his first big starring role in it. That was basically the closing scenes as they were leaving, him reflecting on his time in Vietnam and what that all
It is
looked
incredible, Bob, to think about what kids that young went through back then.
Expectations in life, Thitoff. Yeah. We've lowered them dramatically. Some other birthdays today. Pete Carroll turning 74, the head coach of the Vegas Raiders. And Dan Marino turning 64 years young.
Second down and one at the 18-yard line. And Marino completes inside the 10. Has a first down. Ingram again. Stopped by Glenn.
Marino's trying to get everybody on the line of scrimmage. Now, he still has one timeout. They'll save that for the field goal if they have to.
We are seeing another spectacular effort by Marino, who fires. Touchdown!
You know what the Jets were thinking? He's going to take the ball and throw it into the ground.
They stopped.
They all stopped. If you take a look at it, the offensive linemen, all they did was stand up. And Marino says to Ingram, I mean, that's the communication that they have. We saw fire on the two-point conversion. Tell Marino from the back of his hand, hey, throw the ball to me. Now, here's Ingram for his fourth touchdown. This is a beautiful play.
Best player to ever win a Super Bowl?
I would say best quarterback to never
Best
win a
quarterback
Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's probably
There's a lot of really good players.
You're right,
He's in that conversation, but probably best quarterback.
Best quarterback, yeah.
Never to win a Super Bowl. Tom Hardy turning 48, and scary Terry McLaurin turning 30 years young today.
1st and 10, Ohio State with the football at their own 16. Empty backfield for J.T. Barrett, who has 4 wide to the left. Barrett now from his 9. Fires middle of the field, going down toward McLaurin. Caught at the 5. McLaurin to the Wisconsin 30. Right side to the 20, to the 10. And the Indianapolis native, Terry McLaurin, has taken it into the end zone for an 84-yard Ohio State touchdown, getting the Buckeyes on the board first. 6-0. 3rd and 20 from the Northwestern 42. Dwayne Haskins gets the snap. He's back at the 50. Looks and fires down the right sideline of the field toward the end zone. Caught by McLaurin for a touchdown. Terry McLaurin, his second TD catch of the night as he gets it on a 42-yard pass play from Dwayne Haskins. The second time those two have hooked up tonight, 23-7 Ohio State.
There we go.
McLaurin's Michael Redd for me. As far as somebody who could have been, was extremely talented,
Yeah.
Ended up getting probably underdrafted and then has a great career.
Well, I don't think Red got underdrafted, and I don't think Terry got underdrafted. They got drafted appropriately for their production of what they were in college. They got a lot better as professionals.
I guess where it's yeah. I didn't think Red was ready for the NBA, and the Red was a fantastic NBA player. Won a gold medal also.
But he got a lot better. He was not a great shooter when he went to the NBA.
Yeah.
He left as a great shooter because he worked at it. That's the same thing with Terry. He had a great senior season, but still had a lot of work to do, and in working at that, became one of the best receivers in the NFL, and that's why he's been a Pro Bowler. And then some passings today. Gosh, it's hard to believe it's been 6 years. I know Rothman will lament this. Rick Ocasek, one of his guys, lead singer for Cars, passing away in 2018.
I guess you're just what I needed. That's what I needed. I needed someone to feed. I guess you're just what I needed. That's what I needed. I needed someone to plead.
Didn't he have an Ocasek story? What is that?
Rothman, he has a picture with him.
That's what it is. Okay.
Some art
That's what
gallery.
it was, yeah.
He was married to
That's
what's her
right.
name?
The model.
The model.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They took this picture down at this art deal that he was at, this gallery in the Short North. I don't know if Ocasek owned it or what the deal was.
Right.
I've heard Rothman told the story a couple of times, but behind them in one of the pictures is like an abstract phallic painting. So it's very ironic and entertaining.
That's right.
So it's like it would have been great for just to have a picture with that in the background.
Right.
But the fact that it's with Rick Ocasek, and I think his wife as well, is pretty tremendous.
Yes.
Some holidays observances today. It is 8-track tape day. It is Google Day. It is National Caregivers Day. National Double Cheeseburger Day, Thitoff, which I know is a big day for you.
Celebrated twice today.
Absolutely. National Thank You Day as well, and Tackle Kids Cancer Day. And those are your historical events, your birthdays, your passings, your holidays observances for this date, September 15th, the 258th day of the year, and 107 days remaining this 2025.
Well, as always, General, it is Tackle Kids Cancer Day, not Tackle Kids with Cancer Day. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to make sure I got that right. Look, don't go out there and tackle kids with cancer. Let's not do that. Let's just tackle kids' cancer. Coming up next, Bill Bender joins us. Sporting News. We'll do that next. Morning Juice.
Okay, let's go. Top row.
EYECARE.
Good. Next row.
AM America? iCareAmerica.org?
Yes. I Care America helps seniors who haven't had a medical eye exam in 3 or more years. They also help those with an increased risk for glaucoma, and the appointment is often free or at no out-of-pocket cost. It's easy to see if you qualify. Go to EYECareAmerica.org.
Diane from Michigan, a disabled senior citizen trying to get by. Henry from Florida, a veteran fighting to make ends meet. Elena from Arizona, a mother struggling to feed her daughter. Hi, I'm Connie Britton, and I support Feeding America because they help provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year, like Diane, Henry, and Elena. Learn more at feedingamerica.org. Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
When it comes to prostate cancer, go to pcf.org for the help you need to navigate this disease and make the right decisions for yourself. Go to pcf.org today.
As we wonder why our kids are struggling, someone is getting bullied. As we discuss how to improve their mental health, someone is being harassed on social media. As we wonder why they're skipping school, someone is crying themselves to sleep. Knowing the signs is the best way to prevent bullying.
Please just leave me alone.
Learn the signs at sandyhookpromise.org.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation. They bring a variety of perspectives from diverse backgrounds, innovating how they teach to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Achieving this takes skill and expertise. They're tireless explorers, creatively discovering a universe of solutions, telling stories, experimenting, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, and connecting with each other. leading by example. Experience the unique joy of helping students thrive. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready to begin? Explore teaching at teach.org, a campaign supported by the U.S. Department of Education, Teach.org, and 1 million teachers of color.
Day one, the hardest day, the day you hear.
This is a type of blood cancer.
At the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, we are here to help you move past day one. To learn more and get help on any day, visit LLS.org or call 1-800-955-4572.
Bobby is known as the General. Tito shops at Dollar General. This is Morning Juice.
All right, Morning Juice. We do this every Monday. Recap the weekend. Bill Bender from Sporting News joins us. Bill, good morning. And Ohio State getting the win 37-9 over the Bobcats. What was your... Let's do this. What are your thoughts as a Buckeye reporter, or reporter on college football, and what are your thoughts as an OU grad?
Yeah. Oh, you got to be proud of the Bobcats. We'll start there. I mean, to have the game within one score, to get a stop to start the game, and Hendricks had that touchdown. That was a nice moment. I mean, they showed what they're all about and that they'll be a MAC contender. And then Ohio State, Jackson, very impressive, flashed. It's fun to say that again. Jeremiah Smith put himself, and they're putting him in position to make a run at the Heisman if he continues to make plays like he did. And, you know, it was a fun game to watch. I saw a tweet yesterday, Tito, from somebody that said, you know, the vibes around campus were a lot of fun when you had because of the relationships between a lot of people, obviously, from OU and Ohio State, and share a common interest there. And it sounds like the game atmosphere was awesome.
It was really good. And I saw Bill just talking to some folks that get in the door price for that game, I think was $200, which I don't know, for a group of 5 non-conference game, that's about as good as you're going to get right there. Fun game, a lot of great stuff, and I'm hoping that they continue to schedule even more of these Ohio MAC schools and continue to build that excitement there in the non-conference. As we looked around, there was a lot of great games during the college football Saturday, and we'll just stay in that same time window. Notre Dame and A&M, a back-and-forth game. Just the incredible storyline with how it ended up ending. Kind of your thoughts on that game and where Notre Dame is going from here?
Well, a missed call at the end of the game, on the holding. But, Texas A&M, Marcel Reed made plays at the right time. And it's amazing how that fourth down pass really alters the picture. Because Notre Dame's going to have a really hard time, even if they win out from here. They're going to really have to hope that USC continues to win in the Big Ten and, Arkansas. But they have flaws. And I think they're letting C.J. Carr come along. I understand all that. But, Texas A&M made the plays, ran the football around Le'Veon Moss. And Marcel Reed for them, that wasn't on my bingo card, that through 3 weeks, Marcel Reed has clearly outplayed Arch Manning and might be the best quarterback in Texas.
Do you think that Ohio State now faced the best quarterback they faced so far this season, the OU game? Because look the way Arch struggled. And when he came in, he didn't have a whole lot of experience. I feel like, this past week at Ohio State faced the best quarterback they've faced so far.
Navarro can make plays with his legs. Arch, I don't want to pile on because I think the big key for him is with experience, he'll become more accurate in that intermediate range. And that's been the problem early, the accuracy. And you saw that at the Ohio State game, throwing behind, in front, ahead of, all over the place. And that was against Ohio State's defense, to be fair. But he certainly is struggling. I didn't think, when you see his numbers against UTEP, you understand that, he just needs to develop. And they've got one more game against Sam Houston before their SEC schedule heats up. The good news for Arch is defense is still very elite, and they're not going to give up a bunch of points. So I think he'll continue. But, yeah, Parker Navarro, he's a playmaker. He's going to have them in the mix in the MAC. Obviously, Bowling Green and Toledo are going to be factors in that race as well, and that makes it fun. I love it when the Ohio schools are the ones on the top of that conference.
Oh, it's great to see, and it's a fun watch. Like you said, a lot of things going on, obviously, in college football. Is Clemson done this season?
Well, not yet. They did college football playoff with 3 losses, but there's something missing there. And it's hard to pinpoint because they have a ton of NFL talent especially on the defensive side. I mean, as much as we've talked about some quarterbacks struggling, it's fair to expect more out of Cade Klubnik at Clemson. There's no doubt. But I thought that game Saturday was more about Brent Key and what he's built at Georgia Tech with a old-school, tough attack around Haynes King, and they kick a 55-yard field goal and being able to play giant killer again, and maybe, just maybe, Georgia Tech can get in the college football playoff. And I think they look like a contender. Clemson's get really lose again because Miami and Florida State are at the top of that conference, and that's probably, if you gave Jim Phillips some truth serum, he'd probably say, that's exactly what you want, having Miami and Florida State atop that conference.
Yeah, and I think that for Clemson's sake, they need to have Miami and Florida State be really, really good to a certain point, just so it looks better in the conference if you win that conference that way. Illinois plays Indiana this week, and I've gone on record numerous times saying Indiana was a fraud team last year. Illinois' got an easier schedule this year. They didn't play Ohio State in Champaign, but in that game, though, who do you think has the edge?
This is a really tough game to pick because Indiana, really excellent running game against that Illinois front, and Indiana, really good pass defense against an experienced quarterback in Luke Altmaier. So I can't wait to watch that one. And I like Illinois, and I'm kind of with you because I know they're underdogs in this game, and I know Signetti will pile up. But, the last couple meetings have been close. These programs, it's a great spotlight. I think this is a cool spotlight for the Big Ten because, Nebraska plays Michigan in that 3:30 window Saturday. The more important game is Indiana-Illinois in a lot of ways. So that's pretty cool for those schools, and it shows that the Big Ten has some depth too.
Yeah, it's been pretty good. And Illinois beating Duke obviously had some intrigue as well to that with where they're ranked and what they've been able to do. Florida, LSU, the disastrous game for DJ Lagway, 5 interceptions, not looking good, but a closer game and, still only 10 points the whole second half. Billy Napier, it appears the walls are closing in on him a little bit. I mean, is there a pathway out of this thing for him, Bill?
Well, it's not going to get any easier. They play Miami this week. And then they had another 5 ranked teams on the schedule after that. You can't have 5 interceptions and expect to win in Death Valley, and that's exactly what happened. Apparently, you can't ask Brian Kelly the first question in the press conference. He went off on a reporter afterward after a victory, but kind of had a right to there. It was a big win for LSU. And after 3 weeks, and I know scoring defenses are what they are, it's hard not to watch LSU's defense and Ohio State's defense and kind of put those two against each other and think, man, if those two teams played, it'd be a lot of fun, especially if you're a defensive guy.
What do we know? I mean, we're through most of the non-conference now, Bill. I'm blaming some teams that have played a conference game, some of them even 2. But as we've looked through this and we've watched, and consumed a lot of some of these big, good-on-good matchups, we've seen some upsets. What do you think that we really know about the best teams in college football? Who are they, and how good do you feel about them?
Yeah, I feel good about the Big Ten 3 right now. Ohio State's outstanding, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And Julian's saying his accuracy has stood out, and you've got all these playmakers around him, so they haven't missed a beat. I had somebody tell me yesterday, and I tend to agree, who would have thought that Ohio State would have sent that many defensive players to the NFL? Quite possible they're better on defense this year. That's just frightening if you're everybody else in college football. And then, I thought Georgia pulled out a really, not an underrated win, but a win that will show up later because Kirby just didn't give in to the emotion at Neyland Stadium. I mean, that their whole outlook changes if that Tennessee kicker makes field goal. Max Gilbert makes that field goal at the end of the game. But Georgia's really good. I think Oregon and Penn State are national championship contenders, and LSU. Those are the best teams in college football. And I think Miami and Florida State are much better. And I think of the two, probably lean Miami. I think Miami could be a national championship contender. And it's been a really long time since I say that. I get that when you say something like that, I know what the risks are, but they are really good.
Is college football better when Miami's relevant?
I think so. I mean, I think it's better when Florida schools, those big three in Florida, are good rather than, kind of a train wreck and looking for a new coach. And of the three, Miami's certainly the most glamorous. I mean, we did a list of their greatest players a couple weeks ago, and I mean, it's like 16 first-round guys, and guys we still talk about, like Ed Reed and Warren Sapp, and but they have really good players in the trenches. I mean, ask any Ohio State fan. I mean, one of the most memorable games in school history, obviously beating the Hurricanes, and that's when the Hurricanes were a juggernaut, and they haven't been that in the ACC, and I think the ACC's kind of been waiting on that. So Miami, Florida will be a fun game. Billy Napier and the Gators can make that a close one. I'm not sure they can.
Speaking of dumpster fires, Bill, you look out at UCLA, and Deshaun Foster already fired 3 games in, starting 0-3 again. I looked, they have a bye, and then I think Northwestern. And I looked at the remainder of their schedule. I'm thinking if they don't beat Northwestern, there's a decent chance that they may not win a game. I mean, Maryland coming to town would be really the only other option. Nico Iamaleava was the big deal, him going there. Obviously, Joey Aguilar looks much better at Tennessee than, Nico's looking at UCLA. I mean, what is going on out there in the City of Angels with the Bruins? I mean, is this a program that you think can get corrected? I mean, where do they need to go from here?
I can't understand why they're bad. I went to a spring game when Chip Kelly was there years ago, and you're walking around campus. It's amazing. It was beautiful weather. I don't understand. You're out in California, and you see those empty shots of the Rose Bowl when they have home games, and I'm like, how? They have awesome uniforms, too. Not that matters for much. But this should be a program that should be much better than they are. And especially with the Big Ten backing now. You could make the argument, what have they really added to the Big Ten in football so far? And so they've got to find a coach that can tap into the recruiting out there. I think D'Anton Lynn at USC and Tosh Lapoy at Oregon are 2 names to watch, because then you bring in some of that elite talent in California, get some fan interest going, and go from there. I mean, I think USC's on the right track, at least this year, but we've seen that before. UCLA should be right with them. That's one of the head-scratching ones for me. That program should be a lot better than they are.
God, they should be built. I remember growing up, like USC, UCLA was always a big game to determine the Pac-8, Pac-10, then Pac-12 championship. It was always that way. And they had Dick Vermeil was their head coach back when they beat Ohio State in the Rose Bowl. I just can't believe they've fallen as far as they have.
Well, yeah, either that or you go for that's a great point, because Dick Vermeil or somebody with that NFL background that always seems to fit in that type of job, where there's no way they should be 5-7, and there is no way they should be getting beat by UNLV in New Mexico.
Oh.
So what an embarrassing start. And this isn't about Nico Iamaleava. I know that he's easy to pinpoint because of the quarterback trade, but I think their problems go far beyond him and that. And again, you've got to find the right guy. I think the 2 guys I mentioned, if not them, maybe Spencer Danielson at Boise State. He's an up-and-coming coach that could do well there as well.
They're going to throw money at somebody. They have to. They've got to get a big-name coach out there who turn things around out there, because UCLA is too important to be this bad. But, Bill, we appreciate the time. Thank you so much, Bill. We'll talk again next week.
Hey, anytime. Have a great week, guys. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, that was Bill Bennett, Sporting News, joining us there.
Yeah. Very interesting. A lot of upsets, a lot of big things. We didn't get to a couple other games. South Carolina getting beat by Vandy.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Beat down. And, that's the thing. It's one thing to get upset, But like you talk about that New Mexico beating of UCLA, I mean, they beat them by multiple scores.
They did, and New Mexico was paid $1.2 million to come out there and play.
I'm saying it wasn't close like ever. So that's not good. That's terrible.
By the way, UCLA is in Los Angeles, California. If you didn't know that, because that's what Deshaun wants you to know on his way out the door. That's where they're from.
I like Deshaun Foster. Yeah. It's just wild that there can be that bad.
I'm with you. Look, I'm with you on that, Bob. Coming next, some quick hitters. Morning Juice.
That nagging pain, you know the one. Sometimes it's from years of hard work. Sometimes it's an old injury that never healed right. Either way, it's been calling the shots in your life for too long. But that stops right now. I'm Tyvis Powell, and QC Kinetics is here in Columbus to flip the script. Dr. Wolkoff and his team use regenerative medicine, advanced cellular treatment that help your body heal and restore the damage in your joints. Not covering it up, not cutting it out. Actually helping heal and restore. And the results, long-term lasting relief. So instead of planning your day around pain, you're planning it around life. QC Kinetics, no surgery, no drugs, no long recovery, just a smarter, natural way to get your freedom back. Check them out at qckinetics.com/Columbus. Bring your MRIs, your x-rays. They'll make sure you're a good candidate. The consultation is free. Just call QC Kinetics at 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
I'm Shanola Hampton. Every day, millions of people face hunger. Today, I will share with you some of their experiences. I'm stuck between paying for medications or paying for food. John from Maine. After paying my bills, I can buy groceries. It's sad to say, food comes last. Alice from Oregon. I thought pantries were for less fortunate people, but anybody could be less fortunate in a day or even a second. Claire from Virginia. The Feeding America network of food banks helps provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. No one should have to worry where their next meal will come from. Together, we can end hunger. Learn more at feedingamerica.org.
While serving in Vietnam, a grenade took my ability to see. Today, I'm a sculptor. Now, my fingers are my eyes. I'm Michael Naranjo. As a veteran, I know the challenges of life can be great. In my art, turning a lump of clay into something beautiful, that is worth doing. Life is like that. We each must use what we can to make things better.
DAV helps veterans like Michael get the benefits they've earned. They help more than 1 million veterans every year in life-changing ways.
Now, I show others how they can create something with their own hands. I know it can do a lot of good. With support from DAV, more veterans can shape their lives into a thing of beauty. My victory is bringing beauty into the world.
Michael Naranjo, may your victories inspire many more. Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
One man is a national champion, NFL veteran, and local business leader. The other man is Tito. This is Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Here's Bobby and Tito.
It is Morning Juice. Sponsored by Riverside Bank in Dublin, Event Risk Elite Protection. You can catch us, by the way, here, obviously, as you're catching us now, if you're catching us. But also, then we replay this 10 a.m. to noon on 10 TV Plus. And then also from 1 to 3 on Fan 2, 1460 a.m. We can do that as well. So check us out. All those places. Listen, like, subscribe, tell your friends. If you friends don't like us, then find new friends. Let's do this.
Morning Juice presents Quick Hitters.
Sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, call Dr. Mark Levy today at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP.
It's usually Bodie's time to shine. Bodie right now, though, is probably, I don't know. What do you think Bodie is right now, Bob?
Probably at home being sad.
You think so? You think he's home or you think he's on the sidewalk somewhere?
Park bench?
Could be. I don't know. It's tough road there for Bodie. So now it's Nate's time to shine. Nate, what do you got for us, buddy?
Good morning, guys. We're just a couple of weeks in the college football season, and the first firings have already begun. UCLA head coach Deshaun Foster was let go following the 43-10 loss to Utah on Saturday. Foster was 5 and 10 in his 2 seasons at UCLA. Special assistant Tim Skipper will take over as interim head coach. Bobby, who can possibly turn UCLA around and make them relevant in the Big Ten?
It's a great question. I don't know if there's an easy answer in this. There's something that's good because they've had massive issues, and I don't know if there's something that I don't know if you can fix this with the coach because their athletic department, they've got all kinds of issues. And I talked to Chip Kelly when he came in. There was a reason why he left, being their head coach to be the offensive coordinator here.
Smart move.
They don't have the support. And like talking to Bill Bender, who joins us every Monday at 6:20, he said get fan interest back. I don't know that people in California like college football anymore because there isn't a single example you can show me where people tune in regularly to watch it, to support it, and to go to games. Like, those things don't happen anymore.
I mean, how many times has the NFL failed in L.A.?
And the Chargers hardly have any fans there. People go to the Rams games. It's more seen and be seen, especially in Los Angeles. Northern California is a little better, but no one goes to watch Cal and Stanford either. They've got their own problems. So I don't know if there is a way to fix this without. I mean, you've got to get better, but they don't have the financial resources to be able to support it. Like the UCLA athletic department is a joke with how they run.
Would it be smart for UCLA to throw a bunch of money, if they had it, if they could find a way to do it, to get Brian Hartline? To make a play for and what do you think the number would be? Would Hartline even consider something like that?
I don't know if you take that job.
Why
are you taking a job you can't win at?
That's what I'm saying. But the money though, they'd have to overpay for. Not saying Hartline's not worth it, but they'd have to overpay for Hartline if they wanted to get him.
Yeah, and they don't have the ability to overpay for anybody.
God, it's so bad how bad it's gotten there at UCLA. It's sad.
They don't have Hartline would go and look at that and say, you don't have any of the infrastructure that we need.
Right.
So even how much you're paying me doesn't matter.
And by the way, it gets blown up even more, Bob, when you look at the stands because the stadium they play in. If they played in like Northwestern's litter box they're playing in right now, like where there's 15,000 fans, whatever, it would look a heck of a lot better, at least aesthetically on TV, than it does right now.
It would, yeah. You go over there and play at the little soccer stadium that the Chargers are playing at.
Right.
But I don't know if you'd still even fill up that.
Oh, God,
I mean, the only people that go to the Rose Bowl are the opposition fans because of the novelty of going to watch in the Rose Bowl.
Right, yeah. Yep.
On the next big firing of the weekend, Brent Pry of Virginia Tech was let go following a 45-26 loss to Old Dominion and an 0-3 start. Former Tulsa head coach Phil Montgomery will serve as interim head coach. CBS Sports named its top prospects to replace him, including Shane Beamer, Michael Vick, and former Northwestern head coach Pat Fitzgerald. Tito, who would you send to Blacksburg?
Well, if they're smart, they'd hire Fitzgerald, I think, from Northwestern. I was
First
thinking.
of all, Shane Beamer's not even in the equation.
You don't think so?
No.
What?
They don't have the money to pay.
Okay, it's a money thing. It's not that Shane Beamer doesn't want to do it, but
maybe that's where his dad is. That's his legacy. I get it, but he's built something pretty good at South Carolina. Now, the weekend's results notwithstanding, as they just got beat up pretty good by Vanderbilt.
Right.
I mean, they were ranked 11th in the country.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're going to have those days come back to Blacksburg with what his father was able to do there. So. Nostalgia is a hell of a thing. Going home's a hell of a thing.
Right.
I don't know if you can win there at the degree that they expect them to. They haven't won since his dad left. So
yes.
I think Fitzgerald is the answer. Now, maybe Mike Vick could be in that equation, but he just took to Norfolk State.
Yeah, that's what it is. Norfolk State, yeah.
I mean, and maybe he could, but 1 year or 2 years into coaching, that's a much bigger job to have. And not that he couldn't do it, but you'd rather have a guy with a little more experience at this point. But you also need to create some buzz around it. I remember Virginia Tech, fondly. I still view them as a good job.
Right.
Because of the nostalgia of what they were when I was growing up. But I don't know if it is a good job.
Yeah, Bob, when you think of Virginia Tech, you think of special teams, right? Like, they were really good at special teams. And
they played, every Thursday night. It seemed like, they'd have NFL players out there, and it was a really cool environment.
So when I look at this gig for Virginia Tech, and Frank Beamer did a fantastic job there. And it was like the right time, right guy kind of situation. Yeah. I don't think Nebraska would hire a guy last name Osborne, maybe one of Tom's sons, whatever, just because it's who it was. You know, like, and that's what I'm thinking with Beamer too. I'm not saying Beamer would do well there. I think they would, but the Vic thing is interesting to me because I look at in recent memory, Eddie George did well at Tennessee State and now is at Bowling Green. Bowling Green's on a different stratosphere than Virginia Tech.
But he also was at Tennessee State for like 3 or 4 years.
Yes, he was. Deion, Jackson State to Colorado. Does that make it more likely when you see what Deion's done, what Deion did, what Deion's done, what Eddie did, what Eddie's done? Do you look at that as a does that favor positively for someone like Vic or negatively?
I think it's positive. But even with Deion at Colorado, yeah, they had one really good year. And I think that their team holistically is better this year.
Right.
But
we talk about him more this year.
We talk about him more.
Yeah.
And yeah, he had Travis Hunter when he won a Heisman Trophy there and a lot of great things. But, you know, outside of Shedeur and Travis, like they really didn't have a great program.
Yeah.
And they're trying to build that now. And I think that that's what they'd be trying to do at Virginia Tech. And maybe that's why Michael Vick there would be that level of intrigue. I just don't know. The management of a program is so much harder than just coaching football games.
Yes.
And they've got a lot of issues there. Virginia Tech, they've got to get solved.
And they have to, Bob. If you bring in a Michael Vick, you better have a damn strong football GM.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, does he have, part of it is with him, does he even have the connections in the coaching world to be able to fill out all of those spots and have the people you need? Not like position coaches, but like the strength coach and the GM and all that other stuff. And number two, like, is Virginia Tech, do they have the money not just to pay for him, but to pay for everything else around it?
Yeah, know your ceiling. Like, I don't know what the ceiling is for Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech's not going to be Ohio State, Clemson, Clemson, Texas.
But
they won't be there.
They played for a national championship.
They have, but I don't think they'll ever get there again.
I tend to agree with you on that.
Yeah, so I mean, how much money, how much you throw at a Vic or somebody else, how much financial investment you put into the program, though, also know what your ceiling's going to be.
Yeah.
Speaking of the hot seat, Billy Napier's seat is on fire following back-to-back losses to LSU and USF. His buyout is less than $20 million, and they only have minor teams like Miami, Texas, and Texas A&M in their next 3 games. Bobby, is there any way Billy gets out of this season alive?
You got to win, and he has big games to win. If they wouldn't have thrown 5 interceptions, I think they would have had a chance at winning that game. DJ Lagway definitely did not play a very good game. But I will say this, like, those guys kept playing hard throughout that game. Last year, they kept playing hard for Billy Napier. Most people thought he was going to get fired last season and was able to save it because they were able to win their way out of it. They could do that again this year. I mean, watching them play LSU at night, like, if they just don't throw 5 picks, you'd have a chance to win that game. So there are some correctable things. As long as he still has the locker room, they have a chance, and those guys are still playing hard. So there is still a possibility for Billy Napier to come out of this thing alive, but it gets slimmer by the week.
But, Bob, if you and I both were betting men, but we're not, if we were, wouldn't you bet that next year at this time there's a different coach at Florida?
I don't know, because like I watched how hard those guys played for him last year, and I watched what they were able to do. And so if you're able to somehow salvage this to 7-5, then I think that you're fine. They've had the toughest schedule in college football the last 2 years from anybody with expectations. So
as of now, they still have 7 ranked teams left to play for the rest of the season.
Schedule. They have. It is brutal. And like with Florida State being good, that last game of the season just got a lot tougher as well. And the problem is comparison is tough.
Yeah.
Because you now have Florida State and Miami that are both good in your state. You lost to South Florida. Like there's direct comparisons that people can make within the state, and that's hard. And it makes it hard on recruiting too.
How prestigious is that job?
Florida?
Yeah.
I think it's good. I think it's one of the top 10 jobs in the country.
Think so? Think it's still a top 10 job?
Name me 9 others.
Well, I'm not. No, I irresponsibly throw out questions to you without knowing what the answer is.
Exactly. I'm just saying.
Okay. Ohio State, Texas, Georgia, Alabama.
Was Alabama better?
I think Alabama's a better job than
Why?
Florida because I think it's you can, because of the history, it is easier to turn around. It's easier to get because what they've had, because it's recent success, I would say, makes it a more attractive job.
Might be true. I think you probably have a better financial backing of Florida. to be able to get that done. But I'll throw Bama in there for you.
Okay, what is it, 4 so far?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
I'm
Oregon?
curious to hear the next 5.
Okay, it's Oregon.
Say
right?
that. Yeah.
Did I say Michigan?
You did not.
I'd say Michigan, probably more attractive job.
Maybe. We'll put that in there, though.
I would say LSU. I would say Notre Dame. What are we now, 8? Is that 8 or 7?
So we have LSU, Notre Dame. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
It's 8. Okay, need 2 more now.
Yeah.
I would say Texas A&M.
Based upon what?
The money they can bring in.
And that's led to what?
It hasn't led to anything yet, but I'm saying though you have the unlimited resources. I would say at Texas A&M.
They've always had unlimited. They've had that for a while, and that
right.
still hasn't been correlated to success. So
but I'd rather have that though.
I'm not going to give you that.
You're not going to give me that
plenty
one.
of money.
Okay, Miami of Florida. No,
I wouldn't say that.
No,
Nate, you're not helping things here.
I don't think so.
Let's see here.
I'd put Oklahoma up there.
Oklahoma's got some they don't have as good a recruiting base. They've got recruit all out of Texas, and they financially are not Texas. They're close. They're a fringe team. We can dump them in there.
Okay. Otterbein. No, I'm trying to think. I can't think of it. No, wait.
Exactly.
No, wait. Hang on, Bob. Hang on. No, I think I can.
I could even make arguments that I think Florida might be better than like the back half of some of the most.
Really?
Of these. Yeah.
Okay, so I don't understand, Bob. They have money. They have more money than I guess I assume, because I'm figuring
they're the best school in Florida as far as financial backing.
Okay.
They're in a state that has some of the best indigenous talent you're going to find.
All right.
They have won 3 national titles in the last 30 years.
Okay.
They play in the SEC, so obviously there's good and bad that comes with that as far as difficulty to win, but then the prestige. But they haven't been overly relevant in the last decade.
Cincy Buck says that Bob and Schleggs could turn UCLA around. Could you and Schleggs?
I don't know if I'd want to go turn UCLA around. That sounds like a lot of work.
Could you and Schleggs do it?
I think I could go coach somewhere. The thing is, you have to turn around. You have to be able to get players, and if you cannot afford to have dollars for players, then it's really, I don't care who you are.
Right.
You have to have somebody that can make plays out there for you. And then also, I don't know if I'd ever want to coach at a place where people don't care.
Yeah.
Just the general apathy towards life in college football on the West Coast is not something I really am interested in.
But egotistically, couldn't you say, couldn't you be like, hey, I could make them.
I could go there.
I could make them care.
People, you can't make people care.
I know,
people
but
in California, they don't care about anything. They don't even care to have a house. Half of them, that's why the homeless population is so big out there.
I didn't know, just you personally, you could say, you know what, I know I could make people care.
You can't make people care.
Okay.
I know that's not true. UCLA could be 10-2 every year, and they would not care.
Yeah. All right. Coming up next, that was it for quick hitters. Coming up next, we will do a deeper dive on Ohio State OU. We'll do that next. Morning Juice.
Hey, Bobby Carpenter here with the Riverside Bank of Dublin Sports Money Report. Leadership is the thing that turns good teams into great teams. And it's not just having someone who's vocal in the locker room. It's about that person being able to back it up on the field. It's the same with business. Some of the best companies are born from great leaders who aren't afraid of getting their hands dirty. Chuck Moore, CEO, and Travis Sanders, president of Riverside Bank of Dublin, know a thing or two about that.
Thanks, Bobby. There's no substitute for doing the right thing, and often the hard thing in business. Managing the books, cash flow, and sales tracking are important, but not as important as developing a team.
Spot on, Chuck. All the great leaders you and I have had the opportunity to watch aren't afraid to jump in the field and get things done. That's the mentality we want around here, and that's what we strive for every day. We can all agree that greatness comes from work, leaders lead by example, and those two things will never change.
Tune in every day for the Riverside Bank of Dublin Sports Money Report. Visit their office at 6300 France Road in Dublin or online at riverside.bank.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Wow, that nagging joint pain. You know the one. Sometimes it's from maybe years of hard work. Sometimes it's just an old injury that never healed right. I know I've got plenty of those. Either way, it's been calling the shots in your life for far too long. But that stops right now. Hey, Bobby Carpenter here, and QC Kinetics is here in Columbus to flip the script. Dr. Walkoff and his team are going to use regenerative medicine, just like I got, advanced cellular treatments that will help your body heal itself. It's going to restore the damaged tissues. It's not a cover-up for it. It's not pills. It's not scalpels. It's long-term lasting relief, so you don't have to operate your life around the pain anymore. QC Kinetics, no surgery, no drugs, no downtime. just smarter and natural ways to heal your body. Make sure you bring your MRI, bring your x-rays. They'll tell you if you're a good candidate. The consultation is free. So just call QC Kinetics at 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. Or visit them at qckinetics.com/Columbus.
We are the keepers of the wild, America's original and most invested conservationists. For more than 80 years, we've been committed to conserving wildlife and the natural landscapes that define our nation. From rugged alpine ridgelines to peaceful tall grass prairies, we've supported the conservation of more than 36 million acres of American wildlands. Our funding has led to cleaner water, fresher air, and improved wildlife habitat. From abundant fish and waterfowl populations to robust deer and elk herds, nothing is more important than maintaining wild spaces for adventurers to explore and wildlife to thrive. We are America's hunters and target shooters, stewards of the American outdoors.
America's hunters and target shooters, along with firearm, ammunition, and archery manufacturers, have invested more than $46 billion to help state fish and wildlife agencies manage and protect wildlife and wildlands across America. For more information, visit outdoorstewards.org.
Proud to be your go-to sports addiction.
WBNS, WBNS FM, HD3 Columbus.
The Fan 3, Ohio sports destination. Bobby knows what it's like to be a winner. Tito knows what it's like to be thrown out of an all-you-can-eat buffet.
You're here 4 hours.
This is Morning Juice.
Disrespectful. Tito, Bobby, Nate with you. Bob, so we had the game on Saturday. Very bluntly, were you satisfied?
With the
outcome, with Ohio State's performance, how the game went?
Well, depending on where you got the game, I think they covered.
Depending when you bet it, they covered, yeah.
Where you got it. I mean, early in the week, it was 33. I think it dropped under 28.
Yeah, it was 28 then, yeah.
Which would have got it done for you, which was probably a more accurate line.
Yeah, remember, you thought it should be closer like
I
the
thought
teens.
It would be in the, high teens, low 20s. I thought 21, 23 might be pushing it. Watching West Virginia beat Pitt makes you feel better about the game and everything they've got going on, given the fact that OU just beat them last weekend. But I think it goes to show, like, okay, it wasn't a clean game. Obviously, the 2 picks by Julian weren't great.
Right.
You want to be able to close out drives in the first half. You dominated the game, but you didn't get points. So you need to be able to close out drives. And defensively, there's some things you can clean up as well in there. But I was satisfied with the game, with the environment, and everything that I saw. Like, it was a fun Saturday night.
So the way I felt after the Grambling State game, when I was like, okay, after the Grambling State game, I'm looking, okay, I feel good about Ohio State going on the road against Washington. I feel really good about it. After this game, I still feel good about it. Maybe not as good, though. And I'm not saying I think they're going to lose the game, but I felt I had a better I felt better about it, Bob, before the OU game than I did after. Did it change? Did your opinion on that change at all? The 2 picks by Sand, the inability to get some scores, touchdowns when they should have. Does that change anything about your perception of this team?
Because every one of them, the stories is different as far as why they didn't score. I mean, they moved the ball up and down the field. They just didn't put it in the end zone. And so there's some reasons for that, and turnovers being part of it. But, like, OU is a significant jump over Grambling.
Sure.
Like, OU is –
they class the MAC.
They should have beat Rutgers.
Yeah, they should have been 2-0.
And they almost beat they did beat West Virginia. So if you're going to look at that and say, okay, you beat a team like that by basically 4 scores, like,
right.
Okay. If you're beating, a lower tier Big Ten team like that, no one would say anything. And that's basically what you were playing.
Here's Ryan Day talking about those struggles in the red zone.
I think it's more about when we got down to the red zone, we weren't able to execute. And those runs were not efficient. So I'm going to obviously watch the film and figure out if it was, scheme, if it was coaching, or if it was personnel. And we got to do a better job when we get down in the red zone. We got down there a couple times, had to settle for field goals, and went for it the first time, went to kick the field goal the second time, didn't want to get greedy, and then on the touchdown to CJ, we don't get in. we step out of bounds at that moment in that game. Again, can't let ego get in the way and just kick the field goal. And let's not get this game into a situation we put ourselves at risk. Because I felt like we were moving the ball well. We just had to finish these drives off, which is frustrating.
Were you in the stands or on the field for the game, Bob?
I'm not on the field during the game.
Okay, right. Anyway, what was your vantage point of that? Did you think it was more execution or more play calling?
Well, like you said, there's three things to it. There's personnel, there's play calling, there's execution. I don't know if it's necessarily play calling because most of the stuff you run should work against Ohio University.
Yeah.
Just on a talent-wise situation with guys playing against each other. So I'm not going to say that it was play calling. It should have been more player execution. Getting that done, guys being able to execute, getting movement up front, having enough time, taking care of the football. Like those things are all player execution driven, and they weren't done greatly.
Here is Ryan Day talking about lessons learned from that game on Saturday.
But these are the things that we have to learn, and we learned a lot of lessons tonight. As we continue to open up the offense, like in a 2-minute drill, or when we're throwing the ball, we have to learn when it's time to, take a sack. These are all the lessons that we're gonna have to work through, and the only way to do that is to play through them. And there'll be some lessons learned tonight, but I was excited about the way that we didn't panic, and I think that's a sign of growth and maturity. Because it's easy, and you can feel it in the stadium when things aren't going well. When we come out and we just kind of moving down the field, and it feels like, wow, this is going to be one of those games, and then you don't score, and then before you know it, you come out in halftime, you see the score, they score a touchdown. It's like, what is going on? And it's easy for everyone to tense up in that moment, but everybody kept playing. Brandon did a great job on the punt return to get us going. We threw the ball in the perimeter. I thought Jeremiah and Brandon did a great job getting Carnell, and then we hit the big post, and it kind of opened up from there. So, when we're firing all cylinders, you can see how explosive we can be. But if we're not going to score touchdowns in a red zone, we put ourselves at risk.
Like how he says, keep putting ourselves at risk, like putting yourself at risk for a loss. And, it was really worst case scenario. It's 13-3, coming out of half. You've controlled the first half. You've moved the ball up and down the field. You just haven't got touchdowns. Think, okay, get a stop, go get a score, and then all of a sudden it's 20-3 and you're rolling. Well, worst thing that could happen is at some point in there, Ohio University scores, which they did. And then it's 13-9. And now you're up against it. So you've got to get points there. And then you go get a field goal. And then you get a stop and a touchdown, and things start getting rolling a little bit. But I think a lot of people, I was of the belief, like, oh, yeah, they'll come out, they'll get a stop. All of a sudden then you're in control of the game, and it's 20-3, one more stop, and then this thing's getting stretched in a hurry. And give the Bobcats credit. They came out, and it helps when you have an explosive gain. Obviously, like that, and the 67-yard touchdown pass is going to be able to get that for you, and you missed the PAT. But, I mean, that was devastating. That was tough. But those things are good. They're great learning opportunities. It didn't cost you anything in the terms of a loss, and that's going to help your team prepare for the future now of having to deal with stuff like that and finding ways to win. And you made that game, rightly or wrongly, like it was maybe a more intense situation than it should have been, and that's going to sharpen those guys.
Sain ends up going 25 of 32, 347, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. Bo Jackson, 9 carries, 109 yards, including that 64-yard run he had. Jeremiah Smith, 9 for 153 and a touchdown. Carnell Tate, 5 for, I made it sound almost Southern. Carnell Tate, 5 for 101 and a touchdown. Max Clare looked good as well. And so the rankings come out now, Bob, and obviously Ohio State is still number 1. Do you believe Ohio State at this point is the best team in the country?
So I will answer your question with a question. Name me a team you think is definitively better.
I think Ohio State's the best team in the country. I do. And look, the win over Texas, the demolition of Grambling State, the gritty win against Ohio
Here's the
University.
thing, I always like to watch the wrap-up shows to hear, the narrative. And there was really no narrative about, Ohio State struggling against Ohio University. Like, there wasn't a big focus on the fact that, hey, they didn't put them away, because I think there was 2 weeks of evidence where that was the case, where Ohio University's playing teams above their pay grade and playing them really well. And so I don't think that people really ever noticed that, hey, it got to 13-9.
Right.
And they focused more on the second half explosion of, able to get it going. And once they were able to get that first air quotes drive, the 2 plays out of the way, they seemed to be getting it going. But they did have some red zone struggles, and Ryan's going to lean in on that. But nationally, I don't think that there was a focus to it. I think there's a belief that Ohio State is the best, one of the, if not the best team in the country.
I think the only team you can make an argument for right now would be LSU, and that's just because of the defense.
They've got good wins. And
they got good wins.
They beat Clemson on the road. They've beaten Florida. I think Florida's pretty good. But, yeah, and their defense is very, very talented.
I think that if you're going to say that, Nate, you got to say it in front of Bodie. If you want to say LSU's better with Brian Kelly there, I think Bodie's going to have an issue with you. You guys might actually throw hands. But nonetheless, yes, I think Ohio State probably is the best team in the country. LSU is probably the next best team. I'm not ready to anoint Georgia. I'm not ready to anoint Miami yet.
Oregon hasn't played anyone yet.
Oregon hasn't played. Well, they haven't played anybody either. So, I'm curious about that, how it's going to play out. But I certainly think, though, Bob, I think it's safe to say the Big Ten's got 3 of the best 5 teams in the country, right?
Yeah. I would say that's accurate. I like Oregon a lot. They can score a lot of points. They're very explosive on offense. Penn State still has me wondering a little bit about as far as what they are. But they have a lot coming back off of a team that was really good.
Right.
Minus Warren and Carter.
I think, Bob, if we didn't know Penn State's history under James Franklin, we'd probably rank them higher.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But because we have that, because we know what James Franklin is and what he's done, I think that we probably downgrade Penn State a little bit.
I mean, have they done anything all that impressive already this year? Like, their offense is just kind of there.
Well, they had a bunch of guys coming back. I'm saying, I think I would have thought of them differently going into the season even, and they've knocked down the pins in front of them. So, if I didn't know James Franklin's history, I might have them ranked higher in my mind, or in my mindset. I might have them better than higher than they probably are. But I'm more impressed with them than what I am. I'm just not there yet because of their past, because we know what they've done. Here is Ryan Day talking about the defense letting up a big play touchdown.
They have a very good scheme, and they do a nice job, and they really milk the clock and try to shorten the game, which is smart on their end. And they're a good team, and they're going to make some plays, but other than a couple explosive plays, certainly the long pass, I thought our defense played strong tonight. Did a nice job against a good offense. They do a great job. The quarterback's very good, but I thought we were physical. Ran to the ball, played hard. Again, there's a lot of issues there that we got to get fixed. There's no question. And again, it's our job to identify them and get them fixed.
So, I remember Jim Knowles, when he came here, said the defense I run will be susceptible to giving up big plays. He said that's going to happen. We saw Toledo did it.
They're very aggressive, yeah.
Yeah, it's an aggressive defense that will give up big plays, but hopefully have a bend, not break attitude. And OU had some success with some big plays, but I still feel better about where this defense is than where it was with Knowles.
Oh, yeah, they're really good. Like, you're going to give up some stuff occasionally. Like, that's just part of the game. It's when do you give it up, critical situations, how locked in are your guys? Like, there's a lot of different elements that are in there. And I feel much better now that in the first year of Patricia than I did with the first year in Knowles. And their defense is much more inexperienced, and that's part of it. Like, we take that for granted. They've got some older guys that are playing, but maybe guys who haven't played a ton. And so there's still some issues they're trying to work through right there to try to improve.
One guy who I love watching is Bo Jackson. Here is Ryan Day talking about Bo.
The tight ends give us some versatility, as you could see tonight, just with some of the things we're doing. And then Bo Jackson, has some big playability, and he can catch the ball well out of the backfield. So, I thought, James had some runs, in the second half that were better for him. I thought CJ ran hard on a couple of good runs, especially the 3rd and 1 with the big grouping in the game. It was a free guy in the hole, and that's short yardage running. You got to run and be your own blocker, and he did. He ran through contact. So There were some good things there. But Bo has some home run hitting ability, which, is a weapon for us, and we'll figure out how that fits in moving forward. And the more he plays, the more he's going to learn. But you can see the vision, and you can see the explosiveness.
He's their best running back, Bob. Disagree? Agree.
Why?
I think that I'm not saying he's the best blocking back. He might not be the best overall running back, but I think as far as his ceiling, I feel like it's higher than the other guys.
Well, that's different now than what you just said. You said you feel like he's the best running back.
Right.
Saying he has the best ceiling and saying he's the best running back because that is a present tense situation.
Okay.
I would say he may be the best runner with a football in his hand. Now, there's more to playing running back than just that. Number one, you've got to keep that football in your hand at all times.
That's true.
And we watched the Grambling State fumble late in the game, and the coach is not overly happy about that. And alluding to maybe he put the ball on the ground someone during training camp. He's got other things he needs to continue to improve upon. There's the blocking element of it. There is understanding who to block. There's also releasing guys out in their hands and what they can do in the pass game. So, holistically, I think he could get there. Mm-hmm. But as far as, running, I think, he's probably the best guy with the ball in his hand that they have on this team. That's not a negative. I think that's probably true. And you can see that a lot of times as a young guy, but he's got to work hard to make sure that he rounds himself out and is able to go and perform week in, week out and develop that consistency that you need as well.
Yeah, you bring up the best guy with the ball in his hands. I guess at the end of the day, Bob, I hope Bo Jackson has the most carries. I trust Donaldson more. I trust, as far as running with the ball goes and not dropping it, I put it on the ground, that kind of thing. I probably trust other running backs more. But I just hope at the end of the day, if I look at the stat line, I want Bo Jackson to have the most carries on the team. But yes, he does get better blocking too. That's a huge part. Ohio State's always done. It's been a big thing throughout the years. It's spanned generations of coaches. Is if you're a running back, you also have to block really well.
Yeah, I mean that's what every coach will tell you. You've got to be able, number one, to physically do it, but then also the other element is you have got to be able to understand who to block.
Yeah,
that's what's a lot harder, especially for guys coming in early in their career, because most running backs in high school, they don't ever have any type of man protection schemes, at least the complexity of this, to understand who to block. And then a lot of times those guys, they're the best player on their team, so they have the ball in their hand all the time, so they don't have to become adept blockers.
I've grown up, Bob, breaking news there. That's the end of the sentence. But I've grown up, Bob, believing Ohio State does a fantastic job of developing running backs that can block and having great tight ends, great receiving option tight ends that can also block very well. Is that accurate? And do other schools also focus on that as much as Ohio State does?
Well, it comes down to the position coach.
Right.
I mean, Ohio State's had running backs that can block because they've had good position coaches at that position that teach it and instruct it. And then they bring in the right guys and be able to cultivate that. I mean, that's a whole nother piece with the tight ends where there are guys that could probably, they would be able to add more maybe in the pass game than we always ask them to at Ohio State. But they're very adept blockers. And then you watch them run enough routes, you see them make enough catches that you know that they have that inherent capability as well, but they just don't maybe get featured as much as you would at another school.
Yeah, so I've always thought Ohio State's done a great job of that, and that's why also Ohio State tight ends have long careers in the NFL as well. Also helps them in that regard. Coming up next, the Bengals got a win yesterday, but it comes at a cost. We'll talk about that. Morning Juice.
When it comes to protecting your business, whether it's your staff, property, or assets, don't make a crucial mistake by contracting companies that provide subpar and unprofessional service. What you need is a security partner known for their unwavering professionalism and unnatural liability. You need Event Risk. Event Risk is a U.S.-based, veteran-owned company that not only specializes in on-site guarding, but also offers armed security associates and executive protection agents. Event Risk, elite protection for your peace of mind.
Hello, my name is Eric Rose, CEO and founder of Event Risk Security Services. We are a U.S.-based, veteran-owned company providing protection services and consulting to Fortune 500 corporations, movie studios, celebrities, and high-net-worth individuals. If you're tired of fluff margins with low compensation for poor quality security officers, and the endless revolving door of vendor staffing, then give us a try. For virtually the same cost, we can then address what keeps you up at night.
Visit eventriskinc.com.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. My good friends over at Sleep Better Columbus want you to know that if you're 65 or older, enjoying those golden years, but maybe you're dealing with restless nights, you need to listen up. Are you tossing and turning, struggling with sleep apnea, and that leaves you wiped out during the day? Well, it's time to reclaim your rest with Dr. Mark Levy at Sleep Better Columbus. As a leading provider in non-surgical sleep apnea treatments, Dr. Levy helps you breathe easier and sleep deeper with custom oral appliances, a comfortable alternative to CPAP. The best part is that Sleep Better Columbus is in network with most medical insurance plans and is a proud Medicare provider, so your coverage can work seamlessly with Sleep Better Columbus. And as we head toward the end of the year, don't let those benefits go unused. You don't want to wait to use your deductible. Act now to make the most of it with Sleep Better Columbus. Call Sleep Better Columbus today at 800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com. Once again, that number, 800-MORE-SLEEP or sleepbettercolumbus.com for your consultation. Sleep better, live better, you've earned it.
If only life had a remote control, you could pause or rewind. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
My name is DeMar Hamlin. I play for the Buffalo Bills, and I play safety. CPR saved my life. I've teamed up with the American Heart Association as a national ambassador to help create a nation of lifesavers, turning bystanders into lifesavers. Through CPR education and access to AEDs, nearly 3 out of 4 cardiac arrests that don't happen in hospitals happen in homes. Join me to ensure everyone has the chance to live longer, healthier lives. Visit heart.org/nation.
We got a higher home appraisal after we put away our African art and family photos.
Has this happened to you because of race or national origin? Contact HUD at hud.gov/fair housing. A message from HUD and the National Fair Housing Alliance.
Bobby Carpenter, husband, father, Buckeye. Jeff Thitoff, husband, father, idiot. This is Morning Juice.
It is Morning Juice. Tito, Bobby, Nate with you. Is Bodie back tomorrow, Bob?
I believe so.
Is that true, Nate? Do you know that as well?
I won't be here.
You won't be here. Okay, so Bodie may be back tomorrow. Probably a good idea he's not here today. Tough game for Notre Dame. On the NFL front, Bengals going to win, but the Joe Burrow thing, the turf toe, if he ends up having surgery and misses 3 months, that's the season, right? If I'm right on that, October, November, December, it'd be the season, and the Bengals season would essentially be over. Jake Browning's not going to lead them to a playoff berth. I cannot believe. But tough for Burrow if that's the case. If he misses several months, Bob, right? Their season's over, isn't it?
I would say so. I mean, Browning did some good things yesterday.
Yeah.
And last year, was that last year that he came in and played for him?
Was it last year or 2 years ago?
I don't remember.
But it's happened.
It's happened before?
Yes. Where he's come and played for him.
What?
Where he's come in and played for him, saying, yes, I can't remember when it was.
He's come in and played and done a good job at times. I would have to say it's probably over. Their division is way too tough.
Yeah.
I think for him to come in there and be the guy that you would think would be either asking him to be Joe Burrow. Like he just can't. That offense is built all around him. So that's the problem. I think that was 2 years ago he came in and played 9 games. And listen, he's been okay. Like he has a quarterback rating of 95. Not terrible. 2 years ago when he came in 23, he had 12 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 70% completion percentage, almost 2,000 yards, 12-7. Like not a bad deal. But the problem is for Cincinnati to be good against good teams, they beat Jacksonville yesterday.
Right.
Barely.
Yes.
Their defense isn't great. And by the way, who had the sack at the end of the game, which also helped them out?
Who had the sack? I can't remember who it was at the end of the game.
Trey Hendrickson.
Hendrickson, of course.
Which they didn't want to pay.
Right.
Like
They didn't want to pay him, yes.
If you don't have that guy out there, then you're really in trouble. But I think that Cincinnati can be average, but I don't think they can be a viable contender. And by the time Burrow gets back, like, how good is he going to be? Trying to be able to be just parachuted in to take over after not really playing a whole lot.
And there's not like a there's not a viable option out there for them to get. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think there's not like a Matt Ryan type out there that's available right now, hanging out, waiting for a job.
Joe Flacco, what's he up to?
Well, yesterday he didn't hit. They beat 41-17 by Baltimore. Are you surprised with how handily Baltimore beat them? Did the score surprise you?
What was the final?
41-17.
Maybe a little bit. I got stretched, but I think most people anticipated Baltimore winning. There was a healthy spread on that.
It was like 11.5 was the biggest spread of the week, but still, it's like they dominated Cleveland. Dylan Gabriel did get in the game, went 3 of 3 for 19 yards with a touchdown. The surprising thing to me was Quinshon Judkins got 10 carries, led the team in carries. He had 10 carries for 61 yards. And after what Dylan Sampson did in week 1, I thought there'd be a healthier dose of him versus Judkins, who just got there.
They want to see what Judkins has to offer. I mean, he was a second-round pick for him, high second-round pick.
Sure.
So they want to see what he can do.
It just seems to me like that was the fact that he led them in carries what surprised me. I certainly thought he'd get some touches there, but I
think 10 touches was on the high end.
Yeah.
When people were coming in, they were probably saying with Judkins, 6 to 10, like 10 being the high end. And the fact that he had 10 obviously meant that he could physically handle it. And he was playing well. And
without a training
61 yards.
Yeah, 61 yards on the 10 carries. He also caught 3 passes for 10 yards. Dylan Sampson had 3 for 13. And also 4 carries for 6 yards. I just thought Sampson more, but like Judkins had 6, Judkins had 10, Ford had 6, and then you had the 4 from Sampson, and then Isaiah Bond got 1 as well. The new receiver there they got after sitting out last year because of some legal issues, but he ended up 1 catch for 6 yards on 3 targets for him. But it just seems to me like, and look, they put Dylan Gabriel in there. If I'm the Browns at this point, look, you're 0-2. I would not play Flacco anymore. I would just go ahead and run with Gabriel and Sanders to see what the hell you've got, Bob.
I don't know if you're quite there yet, but I think you're getting pretty close.
Like 0-3, would you do it then? 0-4? Like, I'm trying to think, what would you...
probably 0-3, 0-4. You have to find a break that would make sense to make that change as well. Like, just throwing a guy in there, especially if it's against a really good team, and he's not emotionally and, physically equipped to be able to handle it, that's too much.
Next week, by the way, Cleveland hosts Green Bay. So I'd probably put Flacco out there, let him get knocked around by Parsons in the Packers defense. I probably wouldn't put Gabriel and Sanders out there in a featured role at that point. Then they are at Detroit. They host Minnesota. They play Minnesota. It's that one of those games across the pond before they play at Pittsburgh. So their bye week is not until week 9. In week 8, they play at New England. In week 9, they're at the Jets. It feels like that could be the time, Bob, maybe that you really...
Yeah, so that's what you're talking about now.
Yeah.
Okay, you don't want to just punt on the season immediately. If they had a bye week in 2 weeks, then I get it. But I think you've got to give it a little bit more room to breathe before you just ultimately just throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Isn't that funny, though, Bob? Because you and I both... I would think that most of the 2 of us, are sound-thinking individuals.
Yeah.
Okay? And we both know that there's no way in hell this could be a positive season for the Browns. They're not making the playoffs.
I was going to say, what do you define as positive?
Okay.
You got to figure out if your quarterback's on the roster.
But I'm saying, if there's no chance in hell, if there's no chance in hell, you're going to make playoffs. And you, Nate, do you agree with that? No chance in hell the Browns make playoffs, right?
No, but they're probably at least thinking in this case, well, if the Bengals are out, that does give us better chances.
In theory, yes.
In theory, it's not going to happen, but that is probably the theory back there.
But that's where I'm at, though, Bob. I'm like, they're not going to
trade Joe Flacco to the Bengals.
Yeah, do that. I would. You know what? I would do that. I can to trade.
I would do that in a second.
Yes,
actually,
I would do whatever I can do to make other teams better than us. I would do it, and then I would want, like you said, Bob, want to know if I've got my quarterback on my roster. If you don't have because if you find out you do, you're still going to have a high draft pick, and you also got Jacksonville's pick.
You got 2 picks. Yeah.
Yes, and so if you find out you do have your quarterback in the future, you can trade for other assets or shore up other parts of the team.
Yeah. If
you don't have your quarterback, you've got the wherewithal to get him then with your picks. If there's somebody you really want, you can package those picks and move up. I feel like it, and I wonder how Browns fans would feel. Would you rather punt on the season? But they've punted on a lot of seasons. But would you rather punt on the season, though? You know, would you rather punt on the season and guarantee yourself getting the best possible situation as far as draft picks go?
I mean, did they Have they already punted on the season? I mean, by starting, I don't know. By not winning in week 1 when you had a shot against the Bengals and you blew that thing, I was like, okay, that's probably your best chance of getting a win over a legitimate team. And that went out the window. Then you get beat up pretty good in week 2. I think you give it probably another week or 2, and then you see. But it's looking like the punter's warming up.
Yes, there you go. The Lions, by the way, beat the Bears, put 52 points on the Bears yesterday. 52-21, they get the win.
Remember their offense was struggling without
Ben awful.
Johnson?
Yeah, they can't score.
They said they couldn't score.
Right.
I mean, here's the one thing. Don't think for a second that Dan Campbell didn't hear that.
Right, yeah.
Now they're not good anymore, and they can't do this, and, it's more Ben Johnson. The Bears look pretty good. Bears, like akin to the Browns, look pretty good in week 1.
Mm-hmm.
Campbell a little on the short side of the stick. Second half didn't go as well for them. Then they play the Lions and get the brakes beat off of them.
Eagles beat the Chiefs 20-17. It's week 2, regular season in Kansas City. I get it. Mahomes, by the way, a home underdog, and I think a lot of people thought they would win that game. They obviously did not. Does that tell you anything about either team in week 2?
Tells me that Travis Kelce dropped the pass. It would have been a touchdown. It would have put him up. It turned into an interception, went back the other way. And so there's always stories within the game. Yeah, the game was 2 scores, but what was the final?
20-17. It was one score.
They ended up scoring again. Yeah. Believe me, coaching malpractice. You're letting bombs over your head. When you're like Cowboys game and the Giants, Dallas, there's safety. It's coaching malpractice there on their defensive side of the ball.
Does Jalen Hurts' stats yesterday concern you at all? 101 yards is not all that impressive.
It's not. It would concern me more if it came in a loss against a bad team. But they beat a good team. Yes, his numbers weren't great. 15 completions, 101 yards. Rushed 9 times, 15 yards. If it was at home against a lesser team and they lost, I would be concerned. But it's on the road against a damn good team and they won, I'm less concerned.
The main objective for the quarterback is to win. And Jalen Hurts is not your typical quarterback with what they do back there. As long as he can move the football and they can drive it and have success, I think that's the main ingredient to what makes it look right. He's thrown the ball and, believe me, done a good job with it. But when he came in the league, it was his legs that they utilized, and that was such a big part of his game. And so you just beat what a lot of people perceive to be one of the best teams in the NFL.
Right. On the road.
On the road. I'm just going to leave it at that. I think that speaks enough for itself.
The Falcons win over the Vikings last night. Look, the Vikings have played one really good quarter of football. J.J. McCarthy's played one really good quarter of football.
Maybe a first half last week.
Okay. McCarthy, though.
Their defense isn't bad. I mean, their defense is playing pretty good.
It is. Does it, like the J.J. McCarthy thing, I don't know if you guys.
What do you mean, you people?
You people. I don't know if you people. Do you root for or against or just don't care about J.J. McCarthy?
I don't care. I'm not going to cheer for him significantly. I don't want to see him go out there and just get embarrassed. And he was somewhere in between last night.
2 interceptions, fumbled the ball 3 times, lost one of them as well.
The fumbles are what was more concerning. The one pick, I looked and said, what are you doing? That's ill-advised. You got to remember, he's a first-year player.
Right.
He didn't play it all last year.
Yeah.
So he's going to make mistakes. 5 turnovers is tough. Or putting the ball down that many times is tough.
Yeah, 3 turnovers because 2 of the fumbles got recovered. Yeah, but the 1 fumble, though, and 2. It's really hard in the NFL these days, Bob, to have 3 turnovers as a quarterback. You really have to be.
Well, if you get enough pressure on you, it's not that hard.
Right.
And that Atlanta pass rush was really good last night. They have upped their game significantly over there, and they were getting after it. Michael Penix looked pretty good, too.
Yes, I think Penix is the real deal. I do. I enjoy. We're running 35 yards, but still, I think that Penix, though, is the right quarterback for that team. And you're right, Bob. They did. They upgraded their pass rush significantly in the draft this year with the guys they got.
And they brought some free agents in. And, the objective is, just as I said with Jalen Hurts, is to win the game. And so if it's a slugfest like that, the score was 22-6.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't like it was 49-45. 22-6. A lot of field goals being kicked and not a lot of movement. I mean, it was a gross game at times.
Yeah.
But finding ways to win is critical for young quarterbacks.
And tonight, Bob, we get what I love is the Monday night doubleheader.
Oh, I'm sure you do.
And it's not two games going on simultaneously. It's like a 7 o'clock kick for Tampa Bay, Houston, 10 o'clock for the Chargers and Raiders. And Bob, this is the way it should be every freaking week. Give me a Monday night doubleheader with a 7 o'clock game.
Who's watching that 10 o'clock game?
Maybe I'm not, but I like the option of having it there.
So
I might not watch it.
So that's for the NFL. Put it there for Jeff Titoff.
Yes.
He's not going to watch it.
Bob, that's you know what I have to say about Friday night college football. Just give me options. I might not watch Friday night football, but I want to have the chance to do it if I want to. I want the option. That's all I want. I know that there was somebody else said about the Friday night college football. I'm like, why do you care? He said, well, if my kid's playing high school football, I have to choose between going to a high school football game, watch my kid, or watch a college game. I said, yeah, you get an option. You get a choice. You can always do both. You can go to the high school football game and then watch it on your phone if you want to. We got these things now where you can do that.
That's what you want to do. Way to be present in your kid's life.
Look, if my kid's starting, I told you this before, Bob, if he's starting, I'll watch the game. If he's the third string center,
it's good.
I'll watch the Friday night.
It's not going to open up years of therapy.
No, look, of course. But first of all, let's be fair about this. My kids already need therapy because of me. But, Bob, I like having, by the way, 7 o'clock game, a kid's more likely to be able to stay up and watch an NFL game if it starts at 7 versus 8:30. Is that fair?
I agree with you.
I will let Artie watch part of that Tampa Bay-Houston game tonight. If the game started at 8:30, Artie would not watch a single play of it.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, my kids, their rule is, when they're kind of in 5th and 6th grade, maybe 4th, I let them kind of stay up till about halftime. They get till about 9.
Right.
Because the Sunday night game started at 8.
Yeah.
So 8:15. So usually around halftime, that's kind of your deal, and you can stay up till, 8:45-ish, or I guess that's about 9.
Right.
9:25. So usually that's when I'm like, all right, go brush your teeth during the commercial then. But yeah, I'm with you. That is true. But I don't like the Friday night games.
Think how cool it is, though, Bob, for people on the West Coast where, they've got a 4 o'clock Monday night game tonight. And then they get a 7 o'clock one, which is right in their wheelhouse.
So they get to have football on while they're in traffic.
Yes, they can do that.
They can watch the game in their car on their phone.
Yes, exactly. We're not encouraging that, unless you're the passenger. If you're the passenger, yes, watch the game all you want. But no, if you're the driver, I would not do that. But anyway, yes, I wish they did a Monday night. I wish they would give it a Thursday games and give me the doubleheader on Monday night every week. I think that would be better. Would you agree with that?
No, because I'd rather have it on Thursday. I like watching the Thursday games. Yeah.
I'm not staying up till 1 o'clock to watch a football game on a Monday night.
I might not, but if it's a good game, I want to have the option of doing it, though. That's all. Give me choices.
I want to have the
just give me the choice,
You
Bob.
want the options, but how often do you utilize them?
Well, now that I do this show, I probably won't. But you know what? If I wake up, say I go to bed at 9 and I can't sleep or whatever, sleep for a couple hours and wake up to go pee, can't go back to sleep, you know what I'm going to do? Watch some Monday Night Football. That's what I would do.
And go to sleep?
There we go. We could do that also. Yes, we could also do that. Coming next, we'll tell you guys Juice, Morning Juice.
When it comes to protecting your assets, you need a security partner. Event Risk Security Services is a U.S.-based veteran-owned company providing protection services, consulting to Fortune 500 companies, movie studios, celebrities, and high-net-worth individuals. If you're tired of fluff margins with low compensation for poor quality services and an endless revolving door of vendor staffing, then give them a try. They're virtually the same cost, and they can address what keeps you up at night, Event Risk. Check them out at eventriskinc.com to learn more. Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter, and football season is here at Columbus, and Germain Toyota of Columbus has the winning plays. Drive home a brand new 2025 Tacoma SR5, just $269 a month for 36 months, 10,000 miles a year. Or power up with the Tundra, now just 1.75 APR for 72 months. Don't wait. These deals, they won't last long. Stop by Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road, or shop anytime at germaintoyota.net. Germain Toyota of Columbus. See dealer for details.
Wrinkles, gray hair, and hearing loss are common signs of getting older. But being short of breath, having tightness in your chest, coughing, and wheezing are not. If you are experiencing these symptoms, you may be one of the millions of people who are living with a condition called COPD but don't know it. Early diagnosis and treatment can add years of better breathing to your life. For more information, talk to your doctor and visit copdfoundation.org today.
I
Max, you look absolutely dashing in that purple tie. Ready to harness the world?
You bet, Daisy. I'm ready as I'll ever be. And might I say, your purple tie really pops with your vest.
Thanks. I almost went with a cape, but didn't want to come across as pretentious.
Nonsense. Anyone in our line of work should rock a cape.
You might be onto something, Max.
Phew, so here we go. First day on the job. We've got this, right?
Right. Don't forget, we both graduated from Dogs Inc. with honors.
Which means I can guide my human around a busy city with ease.
And I can give my human a restful night.
I hope my human is kind and loving.
And I hope mine likes wet kisses and zoomies.
Ready to make a difference?
Born ready. Let's go.
Discover how extraordinary dogs like Daisy and Max change lives at no cost to the recipients. Visit dogsinc.org.
You wanted to be cool, which led you to smoking, which led to a pack a day. Then you met that special someone, which led to starting a life with them, which led to wanting to live longer, which led to quitting. Then you heard you may be at risk for lung cancer, which led you to getting a low-dose CT scan. If you smoked, get scanned. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Attack and dominate. You're locked into Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Here's Bobby and Tito.
Morning Juice.
Do you need a bank that truly values local business in this town? The opportunity to work alongside them as partners, whether you're a small business or a large operation, Riverside Bank of Dublin has the right tools for the job. Whether you need an SBA loan to get your business off the ground, a line of credit to keep your business running smoothly, or equipment financing to get your business up to scale, Riverside Bank will tailor a solution that fits your needs. They have the experience of working right here in Central Ohio, and they understand the business climate in our area. They're going to help you reach your goals. So visit them at riverside.bank. Or stop in to get to know them in person. It's 6300 France Road, Riverside Bank of Dublin, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
All right, let's tell people what's got us fired up.
What's got you juiced?
Sponsored by Billiards Plus. Find your next grill and everything you need for the master griller. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
All right, Bob, what's got you juiced, buddy?
Oh, goodness. It was a busy weekend, a lot going on. What's got me juiced? I don't mind traveling. I enjoy it. I don't like to live in it like I used to do. But it was good. I was able to get down to West Palm, get back, do some leadership training, some development down there. Flights were good going down into West Palm, and then flew back through Lauderdale on Southwest. And that was on time, which led me to getting here and able to go to the Ohio State game and take my oldest son, RJ, some of his friends. So that was a good time. Really enjoyed that on Saturday, and a busy day yesterday as we had a couple of football games for my youngest two boys, and then we were putting together a commercial for our Carpenter heating, cooling, and plumbing stuff. So we had that going. The kids were involved Sunday evening, and they did a really good job. So excited to see how all that works out and what that ultimately looks like. And a great weekend of college football, man. There was so much going on. So many big games, a lot of upsets, things coming down to the wire. It always delivers, and the NFL was about the same as well yesterday. So a lot of fun with all of that and exciting. And then this week they've got Arlington is back at home again, and they've got homecoming this weekend.
Big win for them this past weekend.
Yeah. New Albany's good. They're not as good as they've been in the past, but nice little win out there in New Albany for them on Friday night. So a lot of fun. Pretty excited. Buckeyes are in a bye, so a bye week this week. They will not be at home, or in the month of October, they have one home game.
It's Minnesota, right? The homecoming.
Minnesota
like beginning
game.
of October, right?
Yeah, they're off now. They have Washington next week, then Minnesota at home before going to Illinois and Wisconsin on the road, and then Penn State. Then they have another bye.
Another bye, yep.
And then Penn State will be November 1st. So they will not be in the shoe again until November 1st. Well, a one time outside of November 1st.
What game scares you more, at Washington or at Illinois?
Probably at Illinois because they're better.
I think so, too. Yeah.
They're better. Washington will be a tougher environment, but Illinois is better.
Yeah.
Wisconsin's a little trappy to me.
It is. They've got some issues, though, with their quarterback, and we'll see if what's-his-name's back and healthy and ready to go by then. But they had a rough one against Alabama. But it was a good weekend, a lot of fun. We got another busy week and a big week this week, but no traveling ahead. And always excited for a bye week to be able to take a week off and relax. And I like saying sit back and just watch games and consume them. And there's not the level of emotional investment that I ultimately need. So that has got me juiced. Sir, Nate, what does Schlegs have to say?
Man, Carhartt looks so good. Like it's like business casual, flannel, but then I can rip it off. Boom. Carhartt t-shirt has a pocket. That's where you put your cell phone or your sunglasses, and then you can also get bumpy in it.
There you go. What's got you juiced, Nate?
For me, I am going on vacation starting on Wednesday. I'm seeing about 40 bands over the course of 5 days.
Look at you.
I'm first starting here Wednesday. I'm seeing David Byrne of Talking Heads fame down at Mershon. Then I'm heading out to Chicago for a music festival. Friday, I'm seeing Blink-182 and Weird Al. Saturday, I'll be seeing Weezer and Jack White.
Nice.
Sunday is Green Day, and plus, 30 plus other bands throughout the course of the weekend. So that is what I am juiced for.
Favorite group out of the ones you just mentioned?
The one I'm most looking forward to is David Byrne, just because I've never seen Talking Heads, so that's going to be a really cool experience. But Weezer is playing the Blue album. That is what I'm most excited to see.
That's a good album.
So why is David Byrne not with Talking? Like, why is it not the Talking Heads thing? Because, that's all.
He doesn't want to do it anymore.
Really?
Yes.
Because he doesn't like the band. He doesn't like the.
They're now on okay terms, but yes, he did not like the band, and he's not interested in doing it.
Wow. Okay. Because I just think he would be Talking Heads with David Byrne is what I don't know why they would not be together, but I guess the band issues. But
it's like you and the original Heather,
Is that what it is? Yeah, just
I don't know. I mean, things just don't work out sometimes. Thitoff.
It was her birthday last week.
There you go.
It's funny because one of my best friend's birthdays on September 10th. I know hers was on the 12th. So I always in the 9/11 right between. That's how I was
it's a nice 3-day banger for you.
Yes, it absolutely is. So anyway, so what's got me juiced? Let's see. It is the fact Ohio State's off. I leave Thursday for Vegas. I've got 2 days. My other job, Tuesday, Wednesday. I leave as soon as we get on the show Thursday. I head straight to the airport to head out. Cannot wait for that. With the long weekend with my buddies and going out there. And so Bob, I know you went with Caleb to WrestleMania out there, right?
Yeah.
Have you gone out often without kids to Vegas?
I never have taken kids to Vegas.
Well, you took a kid to. I say, have you gone? That's what I'm asking. Have you taken other trips out there to Vegas?
Yeah, that's the only time I've ever taken a child.
And when was the last time you went just as an adult on a vacation to Vegas?
What other reason why I go to Vegas for?
I don't know.
I guess you have work stuff, but usually they're in Vegas because it's wrapped around a little bit of both. I spent 2 years ago, we went out there for an HVAC convention with Bryant and I was there for 5 or 6 days. It was way too long. But that was the last time. Before that, I hadn't been to Vegas in probably a decade. Been a minute.
So a friend of mine went out there with his wife and a good friend of theirs. So it was two dudes and say it like that, Bob. I was waiting for something from you. A couple of guys went with the one guy's wife. And they are.
Sounds like a great time for
listen,
her.
Bob, I know. Listen, they are on the plane to come home.
Sure.
When 9/11 pops.
Oh, so that was 20 years ago.
Yeah, and
24, actually.
Yeah, so they ended up being stuck there for 10 days.
Yeah, I don't know how you would get back. Drive car.
Is there a worse or best place? Is there a worse or better place to be stuck for that long? Because look. I've had my late stepfather one time was up a couple $1,000 gambling in Atlantic City when some huge flood hit and they could not get out of the casino and ended up losing it all.
Yeah.
But is there a worse place or a better place to be stuck, I guess?
I would like to be stuck probably somewhere on a beach. If you give me the ocean, that would be better.
Yeah.
I don't dislike Vegas. It's just a lot of stimulation.
Oh,
all
it
the
really
time.
is.
And so I just want to be able to walk into the lobby and not hear something sometimes. And you can go hang out at the pools and stuff. And that's fine with me. I can go do that. And they've got nice gyms. It wouldn't be the worst place to say the least. There are much worse places because I feel like you get a lot of work done. And the problem is you cannot drive back. You are so far away. I mean, you could, but if you're making that decision, it's probably based on the fact that you're not getting home for a week otherwise.
Have you been to Vegas?
I've never been to Vegas.
All right. My first trip to Vegas was with my then girlfriend. Not a Heather. It was a Jen. And my mom.
Tell me more about that one.
Sister. Oh, Bob, listen. If I tell you too much, we won't be friends anymore. But so my mom and my sister, my brother, my grandmother, and my, I guess, step-grandfather went out there, stayed at Bally's way back when. This is the first time I ever went out there. And
I've stayed at Bally's.
Now Bally's is RIP, but with the Queen. Yeah. But yes, I had a great time out there then. So I've been there during like really hot summer months. I've been there during the Kentucky Derby. I've been there for March Madness. Been there for football games. And I freaking love when it's hot. Like I don't mind 110 degrees. Desert. Yeah, I know. Like I don't mind. I don't mind going out there. Plus, I like walking in and out of casinos then because that burst of cold air you get when you go into the casino then. But I've been there. Like I said, I've been there when I've been there in April and it was freezing. But I love going when it's like stupid hot out there. I used to go. The Motown Cafe was out. Do you remember the Motown Cafe?
Yeah.
They had like performers on there that were imitating, you know, obviously like the Supremes and things like that, and that was a lot of fun. The Motown Cafe was
the Motown Cafe.
Yes,
a lot of it's kind of embedded in the name of what you're going to see there.
Yes, thank you, Bob. It was at the at New York, but and I know. Look, we got a casino here. And I know the casino does a lot of great business with us, and a lot of people solicit the casino. Solicit's probably the wrong word to use there. They
solicit.
They go to the casino.
Solicitation.
But nothing beats Vegas.
I like Vegas.
You know, I mean, nothing beats the vibe of Vegas and whatnot.
It's a good feel.
I will spend my week listening to Rat Pack songs, listening to Elvis. I've seen Wayne Newton out there.
Really?
I've seen Wayne Newton. I saw a show with Harvey Korman and Tim Conway. Okay. I saw a topless show at Bally's, I think it was, also.
Sure.
I used to stay at the Monte Carlo. That's closed now, too, but... I don't know. I've been at Lake City also, but just nothing beats the vibe for Vegas.
I need to see a show at the Sphere at some point.
Oh yeah, I want to get out there also. And where we stayed last year, like we were right there across, but you could see the different ways they illuminate that.
Oh, it's terrible. Like they changed it into a million different things.
Yes,
giant eyeball. It turns into the earth. I mean, all that different stuff.
Yes.
Caleb just sat there and watched it for hours.
Oh yeah, you could do that.
You see it from our hotel room. It was
right
around the back side of it. It was wild.
Have you seen a show there yet or not?
I have not. I should have went out and saw Chesney there, and I wanted to see who else was.
The Eagles were there.
Yeah, there's a bunch of people that
I wanted to see that U2 show.
U2 was out there. Yeah.
U2 was out there, which would have been good. I mean, the thing is, the tickets are crazy expensive to do that. So I don't know. It's all part of it, but it's a great show. People I know that have been in there and seen concerts have loved it. Like, it's been awesome.
Yeah, I can't. I don't know if it'd be too much. It'd be overstimulation there for that. You know, with how much they did the Wizard of Oz thing there. I think.
Okay.
But it feels like
overstimulation. What are you, a child?
Which is hard to say in Vegas that I would stay away from overstimulation with all the other stuff I do when I'm in Las Vegas. But so anyway, that's I will spend my week now. Me and the buddies will text each other every couple hours and say how far we are. Yes, get excited about all that. Head out there on Thursday and come back home on Monday. So I don't know who's filling in Friday and Monday for me. I'm not sure, but
it's a beautiful mystery.
It's a beautiful mystery. You're right. Yes, and the fact that we've got I'm a little bummed because there's no Ohio State college football this weekend, and I usually make a killing on betting Ohio State when I'm out there. They had Michigan State one year. They had Wisconsin one year when I was out there recently, and I just cleaned up in those games. So I'm a little disappointed they're not playing this weekend. Last year we were there. The Browns played the Raiders in Vegas, so a lot of Browns fans in the sports books and whatnot. But anyway, and then Thursday night, there's not much Thursday night on the schedule there. I think Miami plays Buffalo on Thursday night in the NFL. But then you got the Friday night. I believe there's a Big Ten game on Friday night. I'm trying to think who was in that game that I was going to look forward to watching. But then, on Saturday, you got that Indiana-Illinois game. I just love, Bobby, waking up and betting on football.
Is that game going to be big noon, that Indiana?
I think it's a night game this week. I think it's a night game.
How did they get that a night game?
That is going to be, because I saw this,
What's the big noon game then?
The big noon game is Texas Tech and Utah.
Really?
That's the big noon game.
Where is that, in Utah?
That is in Utah, yes.
And they're playing the thing at 9 a.m.?
They're playing the thing at 9. Is it 9 a.m. or 10 a.m.? Would it be 9 a.m.?
think it'd be
10?
10.
I think it's 10 a.m. out there. But nonetheless, it's early. Yes, it is very early.
By the way, the Friday night game is Iowa and Rutgers. I would not bet that game at all.
Whatever it is, I bet the under, right? You bet the under in that game no matter what the number is. And then, yes, it is the Indiana-Illinois game is on NBC Saturday night at 7:30. So, by the way, when was the last time you thought, have you ever thought Illinois-Indiana would be a primetime kickoff on NBC ever?
That's where we are.
And Florida's got Miami also. The Florida
45.5 for Iowa Rutgers.
The over-under?
Yeah.
You can watch USC Michigan State at a reasonable hour this weekend.
Out there, you're right. Yes, they got the 11 o'clock kick out there, right? That's what they're kicking off at 11 o'clock at night, Bob.
Well, that's 8 o'clock in California.
I understand that. But you got an 8 o'clock kickoff in California and a 10 a.m. kickoff in Utah.
The beauty of it.
Yes. Michigan State, USC, though, good Lord. They talk about the traveling West Coast over to the East Coast kind of thing and having just to play like a 9 a.m. game for them, which is really a noon kickoff here. And now you got the opposite of that going with Michigan State having to go to USC and play at 11 o'clock at night in that game.
I might dabble into a little bit of that. I don't mind the late night games. It gives me something to watch after all the other games are over, and I'm usually sitting there overserved trying to figure out what to watch and maybe stumble into watching Jerry Maguire or
Big Ten After Dark. It's the best.
Yeah.
Or watch Big Ten After Dark, USC, Michigan State.
Yes, that'll be we can go ahead and call it right now. That'll be my chase game that night. That'll be the one I'm chasing my losses with Michigan State, USC. I will do
chased by the police.
I will do way too much research on that game because I know that I'll be down by the time that happens, and then I got to have a get right Sunday, and then I'll be up late Sunday night. I can't remember what the game is on Sunday night there, but anyway, I'll be watching that as well. Thank you to all the Juicers for joining us today. Thank you, Nate. Thank you, Bobby. Brody's back tomorrow. And we will have Morning Juice on a Tuesday. We'll react to the doubleheader on Monday night. We'll do that next. Morning Juice.
It's been a real journey since 2014 when I first had my injury. I realized that my home was just not working for me and that it was time to ask for help. Homes for Our Troops is really giving me my life back. The shower allows me to go in and turn around with my chair, pull down storage racks, automated door systems, hours of my morning given back to me. Adaptive sports are a huge part of my life, a huge part of my healing journey as well. Homes for Our Troops helped with making sure that I had a home gym so that I can continue to train. This past year, I was able to host Thanksgiving in my home. And it was the first time I was able to have my whole family in one place and I was able to contribute to the meal. There are a lot more veterans in need, and Homes for Our Troops is going to be there to help them too.
Homes for Our Troops builds and donates specially adapted custom homes nationwide for severely injured post 9/11 veterans and enables them to rebuild their lives. Join our mission at hfotusa.org.
Once there was a man who couldn't stand.
A mom who couldn't wait.
A scientific community that said it couldn't be done.
And then you.
And then I.
And then we brought neuromuscular disease into screaming color with the Muscular Dystrophy Association.
For 75 years, our voices have thundered through the halls of Congress.
We've willed the impossible into existence.
We've pushed the science,
raised the funds,
shifted the narrative,
and transformed the reality of life with neuromuscular diseases.
For 75 years, we've built communities together,
established the field of neuromuscular medicine,
and made it thrive.
Call that a legacy.
Call it impact.
Call it momentum.
Just call it ours.
Because it's the generations of community heroes that give MDA the strength we have today.
And until neuromuscular disease is a thing of the past, you couldn't stop us if you tried.
Join us and celebrate 75 years of breakthroughs at MDA75.org.
Your child is sick. With those 4 words, the innocence and joy of childhood disappears. But Starlight has taught us 4 other words that make all the difference. The power of play. Happy kids heal faster. That's why Starlight Children's Foundation delivers happiness through gaming, toy deliveries, and more to hospitals across the country. Learn more at starlight.org.
Your child's oral health milestones matter. By age 1, see a pediatric dentist to establish good oral health habits. At 7, see an orthodontist to check your child's bite, teeth, and jaws. Around 15, visit an oral and maxillofacial surgeon to have your child's wisdom teeth examined. Remember, milestones met, healthy teeth set. Visit